a moment when life weighs so heavy that we can hardly lift our heads, much less our hearts. It's a place where weariness isn't just in our bodies, it seeps into our souls. You might be there now. Perhaps you're dealing with loss, betrayal, setbacks, or fear, and it seems there's no end in sight. You've prayed, cried out, and wondered if God sees, if He hears, if He's aware of your pain. But what if I told you that even in this very moment when you feel most alone, God has His eyes set on you. He's more aware of your situation than you know, and He's reaching out, not only to rescue you, but to show you the depth of His love and presence right here, right now. Stay with me, because what you'll hear in the next moments is a message meant to reach you personally, to uplift your soul, and remind you of truths that will make the weight lighter and the path forward possible. God sees the struggles we bury from the world. He sees the silent battles we wage when the lights are off and we're alone with our thoughts. He sees every question we hold in our hearts and every why that doesn't have an answer. But more than just seeing, He cares. Our Creator's gaze isn't detached or indifferent. His heart is in His view. And when He looks upon His children, He looks upon us with a love that's unfathomable, a mercy that's unending, and a grace that's more than enough. When you bring your pain to Him, you're not bringing it to someone who will judge or turn away. No, He's there in the middle of it with you. Scripture tells us in Psalm 34:18 that the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. This verse isn't just poetic language, it's the reality of God's nearness. Imagine that right now in your pain, God is leaning in closer than you might realize. This nearness isn't meant only for moments when we feel good or when we're deserving. No, it's for when we're at our lowest, feeling unworthy, broken, and too tired to take another step. You might feel like you're carrying the weight of the world, but He's right there with you, taking each step alongside you. Think of a child who's fallen and scraped their knee, tears running down their cheeks. When a loving parent sees that, they don't turn away, they rush to comfort and to heal. And if we, with our human hearts, respond with such love and urgency, how much more does our Heavenly Father respond when He sees His children in pain? This is the God we serve, a God who not only sees and hears, but is deeply moved by every ounce of suffering we endure. Every tear that falls from your eyes is precious to Him. So precious that the Bible says He collects each one in a bottle. That's how much He cares. That's how much your pain matters to Him. You might think, but if He sees and He cares, why am I still struggling? This question is one of the deepest cries of the human heart. It's a question that God doesn't ignore. And while answers may not always come in the form or timing we expect, God's silence is never abandonment. In fact, in these moments, He's often doing something far greater within us than we could ever realize. God doesn't cause our pain, but He can use it to draw us closer to Him, to bring us to a place of transformation, and to shape us in ways we might not yet understand. When Jesus walked the earth, He was no stranger to human suffering. He wept, He grieved, and He bore the ultimate pain on the cross. But even in His darkest moment, when He cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" He knew the Father hadn't abandoned Him. That was a cry of the deepest agony, one that resonated with every ounce of human suffering. But it was also a reminder that God's presence and purpose extend even into our darkest hours. Because Jesus endured, we can endure. Because He knows what it's like to suffer, He stands with us in our suffering, holding us steady, guiding us through. As we journey through these trials, there's a refining that happens within us, a strength that begins to build. This isn't the kind of strength that the world gives. It's not a stoic endurance or a stiff upper lip resilience. No, it's a strength born of grace, a strength rooted in knowing that we're not alone, that God's hand is upon us even when we can't feel it. Sometimes this strength takes the form of simply holding on to the promise that God is good and that He's working even in our pain. This is where faith comes in, the kind of faith that's tested and proven in the fire. A faith that can look at the storm and say, I trust you, Lord, even here. Isaiah 40:29-31 speaks to this faith. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall, but those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. This is the promise for each one of us, that in our weakness, in our exhaustion, God is the source of our strength. When we feel we've reached the end of our rope, that's where God's power begins, lifting us up, renewing us, and giving us the strength we need to press on. The truth is, God knows every part of you better than you know yourself. He knows the places of weariness, the moments of doubt, and every hurt you hold. And He doesn't just leave us there. He offers a hand of comfort, a reminder that He is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. This means He's not a distant God watching from afar. He's actively present, a fortress when we need shelter, a rock when we need stability, a friend when we need to pour out our hearts. When we truly grasp the depth of God's presence, it transforms how we see our struggles. Knowing He is with us doesn't make every difficulty vanish, but it changes the nature of how we walk through it. Suddenly, each pain and challenge becomes an opportunity to rely on Him in a deeper way. This is the heart of faith, not a belief that exempts us from hardship, but a belief that strengthens us within it. God, in His infinite wisdom, often uses the very situations we want to escape to bring about the most profound growth and reliance on Him. It's through these experiences that our trust in Him moves from the head to the heart. In these moments of quiet struggle, where it feels like we are carrying the weight alone, God is gently teaching us to lean not on our own understanding, but on Him. We're taught from an early age to be self-sufficient, to solve our problems, to figure things out on our own. Yet God invites us into a different kind of relationship, one where dependence is not weakness, but a powerful act of surrender. The very act of bringing our pain, weariness, and confusion to Him and admitting that we cannot do it alone opens the door for His power to work in ways we could never imagine. He is honored when we trust Him with our deepest burdens, knowing that He is both willing and able to carry them for us. And while we wait for the answer, while we wait for the pain to lessen or the situation to change, He provides peace. This peace is not of this world. It's a peace that surpasses all understanding. It's a divine reassurance, a quiet knowing that even though we might not see a way, God has a plan. His peace calms the storm within us even before the storm around us is settled. In the depths of despair, in the places where words fail and tears flow, His peace settles in like a balm, reminding us that He is near. This peace isn't an emotion we can manufacture. It's a gift that He freely gives to those who seek Him. So, if you feel alone, remember, you are not forgotten. God hasn't overlooked you or abandoned you. He sees you in your pain and knows your heartache. He has counted every tear, heard every prayer, and felt every ache. And because He knows you so intimately, He knows exactly what you need to get through this. It's in this understanding that we can find hope. Our journey may be challenging, the nights long, and the days filled with unknowns, but He is faithful. His promises are not empty words. They are the very foundation we can stand on when all else seems to crumble. In these moments, the enemy would love for us to believe that God doesn't care or that He's distant. He tries to sow seeds of doubt, whispering lies that we're alone, that God has forgotten us, or that we're not worthy of His help. But these are nothing more than lies aimed at separating us from the truth of God's love. The enemy knows that if he can isolate us in our pain, he can weaken our faith. But we have a choice to cling to God's promises and reject the lies. God's word reminds us that He will never leave us nor forsake us. His love is steadfast, unwavering, and stronger than any lie that might try to convince us otherwise. When we feel weary and beaten down, it's not just a sign that we're weak, it's a signal that we need to draw closer to Him. Weariness can be an invitation to rest in His presence, to lay down our burdens at His feet, and simply be still. We often think we need to have the strength to keep moving, to keep fighting, but God says, "Be still and know that I am God." In our stillness, in our quiet moments with Him, He speaks to us in ways that go beyond words. He breathes life into the dry, weary places of our soul, renewing us, restoring us, and giving us the strength we need to continue. This isn't an easy journey. It requires a level of trust and surrender that doesn't always come naturally to us. But as we walk this path, we learn to let go of our need to control and instead embrace His guidance. We learn that our struggles are not punishments or signs of failure. Rather, they are often the very places where God does His most profound work within us. They are the spaces where He refines us, teaching us patience, resilience, and a deep reliance on His love and grace. God's purpose in our pain is not to break us, but to build us. He takes what the enemy intends for harm and turns it into something that ultimately strengthens us. When we look back on these moments, we'll often see that they were the very seasons that brought us closer to Him, that deepened our faith, and that taught us truths we would never have known otherwise. This is the beauty of God's grace. He takes every piece of our lives, every hurt, every loss, and every tear, and weaves it into a tapestry of redemption. And in His timing, He brings healing. Sometimes that healing comes in ways we expect, and other times it arrives in forms we could never have anticipated. But no matter how it arrives, it always comes from His heart of love. He is the great physician, the one who knows the exact prescription our souls need. Healing in His hands isn't just about mending the surface wounds, it's about restoring us from the inside out, addressing the deeper needs we often don't even know we have. Through it all, God remains faithful. Even when our faith wavers, He is steadfast. Even when we feel we cannot go on, He gives us the strength to take one more step. His love is relentless, pursuing us through every valley, meeting us in every moment of need. There's a reason He is called our shepherd. He is always watching over us, guiding us, protecting us, and leading us to places of rest and renewal. His faithfulness isn't based on our performance, it's rooted in His very character. He is faithful because He is love. This journey with Him is one of continual surrender, of laying down our burdens and picking up His promises. It's a path that requires us to trust in His goodness even when life doesn't make sense. But as we walk with Him, as we let Him into the deepest parts of our hearts, we begin to see His hand at work in ways we couldn't have imagined. We see that even in our pain there is purpose. Even in our struggles there is growth. And even in our waiting there is preparation for the blessings He has in store. So we press on, not in our own strength, but in His. We hold on to hope, not because our circumstances are perfect, but because we know the one who holds our future. And as we do, we find that His grace is sufficient, His peace is unwavering, and His love is more than enough. Through every trial, every hardship, and every tear, He is with us, guiding us, comforting us, and reminding us that we are never alone. In the moments when our strength falters and our hearts grow weary, God's unwavering presence becomes our refuge and fortress. He doesn't abandon us in the pit of despair, but meets us right there in our weakest, most vulnerable state. The beauty of His love is that it does not rely on our ability to keep going. Rather, it is constant, like a firm foundation beneath us that cannot be shaken. Each step we take, no matter how small, is sustained by His boundless grace. When we feel empty, it is His Spirit that fills us, replenishing our souls with the energy and endurance to continue. And in those times of emptiness, He teaches us a profound lesson that His strength is made perfect in our weakness, and His glory is magnified through our dependence on Him. This journey of faith is one of unlearning the world's values and embracing God's truth. The world tells us that our worth is found in productivity, success, and visible achievements. Yet God's perspective is different. He looks not at our outward accomplishments, but at the heart's condition, the faithfulness we hold in the hidden, uncelebrated moments of life. He is not impressed by our titles or accolades, but cherishes our quiet devotion, our willingness to trust Him even when there's no immediate reward. Our trials and tribulations become an altar upon which our faith is tested and proven. And through these experiences, God cultivates within us the character and resilience that mere comfort and ease could never produce. The moments of silence, when it seems our prayers go unanswered, are often the times when God is doing His deepest work within us. In these seasons, He is not absent, but is carefully molding us, purifying our faith like gold in the fire. The silence doesn't signify His absence, it signals His careful, deliberate preparation. God doesn't waste a single trial. Each hardship, each moment of loneliness, every tear we cry, He holds it all, working it together for a purpose that is ultimately for our good and His glory. As we press into Him during these times, we become more attuned to His voice, more sensitive to His leading. The hardships sharpen our spiritual senses, enabling us to discern His will with clarity and precision that we may not have had before. Faith, in its truest form, is not a feeling but a decision, a commitment to believe in God's goodness, even when circumstances suggest otherwise. This decision is not always easy, but it is one that God honors deeply. When we choose to trust Him in the dark, we declare that He is worthy, that His promises are true, and that His love is steadfast. In these acts of trust, we bring Him the greatest honor, for we choose Him not for what He can give us, but simply for who He is. And in return, He meets us with a love that is transformative, a love that heals wounds, restores hope, and breathes life into the dry and weary places of our soul. God's timing, though often a mystery, is always perfect. He sees the full picture while we see only fragments. There are times when we feel ready for a breakthrough, yet He delays, not to withhold blessings, but to prepare us to receive them fully. Like a master craftsman, He meticulously shapes every detail, waiting for the exact moment when we are ready, when His provision aligns perfectly with His purpose for our lives. The waiting seasons are not wasted time. They are times of preparation, of growth, of learning to rely on Him in ways that deepen our relationship and our faith. In the waiting, we learn patience and trust, qualities that root us deeper in His love, preparing us to steward the blessings He has in store with wisdom and humility. As we endure, we find that God's love is not a distant concept, but a tangible reality that meets us in the ordinary and the extraordinary alike. His presence becomes the still small voice that reassures us when fear threatens to overwhelm. It becomes the comforting embrace when loneliness weighs heavy. His love speaks through His word, reminding us that we are chosen, beloved, and valued beyond measure. Through His word, we are reminded of His faithfulness to generations past, of His promises that stand firm even in the face of adversity. His word becomes a lamp unto our feet, guiding us one step at a time, illuminating the path when all else seems dark. In His wisdom, God often allows us to face trials that reveal the parts of our hearts still in need of His grace. Challenges bring to light the hidden fears, doubts, and insecurities that we might otherwise ignore. Yet He doesn't reveal these things to condemn us. He reveals them to heal us. In His presence, we find the freedom to confront our fears, to bring our weaknesses before Him, and to receive His healing. The very things we try to hide, He invites us to place at His feet, for in our surrender, His power is made evident. His healing isn't merely physical or emotional. It goes deeper, reaching into the very core of who we are, transforming us from the inside out. The journey is not without its scars, but each scar is a testament to God's faithfulness, a reminder of the battles we've faced and the victories we've won through His strength. These scars, though marks of pain, also become marks of resilience and hope. They remind us that we are overcomers, not by our own might, but by His grace. In His hands, our scars become part of a beautiful story of redemption and restoration. The pain we endure is not in vain. It becomes a powerful testimony of God's ability to bring beauty from ashes, joy from mourning, and strength from weakness. In our pain, we find that God's heart is tender toward us. He does not dismiss our struggles, but enters into them with us, sharing in our sorrows and offering His comfort. His empathy is not passive, it is active, a love that moves to meet us in our need. He is the God who weeps with us, who feels our burdens, and who lifts them from our shoulders. His compassion is limitless, extending beyond what we could ever imagine. In our darkest moments, He is not only near, He is carrying us, sustaining us with a love that refuses to let go. And as we continue to walk with Him, we learn the power of surrender. Surrendering to God is not a loss of freedom, but the beginning of true freedom. When we lay down our will, our plans, and our desires, we make room for His perfect will to take precedence. In surrender, we find peace, knowing that He is in control, that His plans for us are good, and that He is working all things together for our ultimate good and His glory. Surrendering doesn't mean we stop trying, it means we stop trying to do it alone. It is an invitation to partner with God, to let His strength carry us, and to allow His wisdom to guide us. God is the God of new beginnings. He specializes in restoring what was lost, in redeeming what was broken, and in bringing hope to places that seemed hopeless. No matter where we are or what we have faced, His mercy is new every morning, offering us a fresh start. He does not hold our past against us. Instead, He invites us to step into the future He has prepared. His love covers our past mistakes, and His grace empowers us to move forward with confidence. In His love, we find the courage to let go of what once held us back and to embrace the future with hope and expectation. In every season, whether in joy or sorrow, God is with us, shaping us, molding us, and preparing us for His purposes. Our lives are not random or meaningless. They are part of His divine plan, intricately woven with purpose and meaning. Each day, each moment is an opportunity to know Him more, to experience His love in deeper ways, and to become more like Him. Through the highs and the lows, He is working in us, refining our character and drawing us closer to His heart. And as we journey with Him, we find that our ultimate purpose is not found in the things of this world, but in knowing Him and making His love known. As we continue to walk with God, we discover that our identity is rooted in Him, not in our accomplishments, not in our failures, but in His love. He calls us His own, chosen and dearly loved. This identity gives us the security and confidence to face any challenge, knowing that we are His and He is ours. His love defines us, His grace sustains us, and His purpose guides us. In Him we find everything we need for life and godliness. He is our source, our strength, our hope, and our joy. And as we remain rooted in Him, we bear fruit that endures, a legacy of faith that impacts generations to come. It's not about the trials we've endured or the challenges we faced. It's about the God who has walked with us through it all. His love is the thread that binds our story, the anchor that holds us steady, and the light that guides us home. Through every pain, every joy, every triumph, and every tear, He has been faithful, and He will continue to be faithful. Our lives are a testament to His grace, a living story of His love, and a reflection of His glory. In Him we have found our home, our peace, and our purpose. And as we continue on this journey, we do so with the assurance that we are never alone, for He is with us now and always. In the stillness of every night and the break of each dawn, God watches over us with a love that never fades. He knows the depths of our hearts, the quiet longings we hold, and the battles we face that no one else can see. His love is a constant, a steady presence that remains regardless of our circumstances. He stands as a pillar when the world around us shakes, a light when the path is unclear, and a friend when we feel alone. His heart is for us always, and He desires that we understand just how deeply we are cherished. The journey of faith is filled with twists and turns, but with each step, God reveals more of Himself to us. He knows that often we seek answers and clarity, we want certainty, something tangible to hold on to. Yet God, in His wisdom, gives us something even greater. He gives us Himself. Instead of simply resolving our problems in an instant, He walks through them with us, teaching us patience, resilience, and trust. He is not a distant observer. He is intimately involved in every detail of our lives, using even the smallest moments to shape us into the people He created us to be. When life's storms seem relentless, we may be tempted to question God's presence. We may wonder why He allows hardships or why answers to our prayers seem delayed. But even in these moments of uncertainty, God is working. He is drawing us into a deeper dependence on Him, reminding us that our strength does not come from our ability to control our circumstances, but from our trust in Him. In every trial, He is teaching us the value of surrender, showing us that His power is best displayed when we acknowledge our own limitations and allow Him to take the lead. It's in our surrender that we find true peace and strength. Every prayer we lift to God is heard, treasured, and cherished by Him. Sometimes we may not see an immediate response, but that does not mean our prayers go unnoticed. God hears our cries, and He responds in ways that are beyond our understanding. There are times He answers with a gentle "not yet" as He works behind the scenes to prepare something greater than we could imagine. Other times He responds in ways we do not expect, using situations and people around us to reveal His will. Regardless of the timing or method, we can rest assured that our prayers are always significant to Him. The path of waiting is not an easy one, but it is a place where God does some of His most profound work within us. Waiting teaches us patience, perseverance, and trust in a way that nothing else can. It forces us to let go of our timelines and lean into God's perfect timing. As we wait, God strengthens our character, building within us a resilience that prepares us for the future. Waiting is not passive, it is an active journey of faith. A place where we learn to rest in the assurance that God's plans for us are good, even when we cannot yet see the outcome. There are moments in life when the weight of our burdens feels overwhelming, when the challenges before us seem insurmountable. But in these times, God's promise remains true. He will never give us more than we can bear. He provides us with the strength to face each day, even when we feel weak. His Spirit empowers us, lifting us up when we feel like we can no longer stand. God does not expect us to endure life's hardships on our own. He walks with us, lending His strength, His peace, and His guidance. And when we place our trust in Him, we discover a well of endurance that we did not know we possessed. God's love for us is not conditional, it is unchanging and eternal. It does not depend on our performance or our accomplishments. He loves us simply because we are His, and nothing can change that truth. In a world that often measures worth by achievements and successes, God's love reminds us that our value is intrinsic, rooted in the fact that we are His creation. His love frees us from the need to prove ourselves, inviting us to rest in the knowledge that we are already deeply loved. This love gives us the courage to live authentically, to embrace our strengths and weaknesses, knowing that we are accepted just as we are. There will be times in our journey when we face rejection, loss, or disappointment. These experiences can be painful, leaving scars on our hearts. But even in these moments, God is present, using our pain to draw us closer to Him. He knows the sorrow we carry, and He offers us His comfort, a comfort that soothes and heals. In His presence, we find a refuge, a place where we can lay down our burdens and allow His love to restore us. The wounds we bear are not marks of defeat, but reminders of His faithfulness, testaments to the ways He has carried us through our darkest days. As we walk through life, we learn that true joy is not found in the absence of trials, but in the presence of God. His joy sustains us, filling us with a peace that transcends understanding. This joy is not dependent on circumstances, it is rooted in the assurance of His love and His promises. Even in difficult times, we can experience this joy, knowing that God is with us, that He is working all things for our good. His joy gives us strength, a resilience that enables us to face each day with hope and confidence, trusting that He is in control. In our pursuit of God, we are transformed. His love shapes us, molding us into vessels of His grace and compassion. As we grow closer to Him, we begin to reflect His character, becoming a light to those around us. Our lives become a testimony of His goodness, a beacon of hope for those who may be struggling. We are called to be His hands and feet, to show His love to the world. This calling is both a privilege and a responsibility, one that we embrace with gratitude, knowing that God equips us for every task He sets before us. The trials we face are not without purpose. They are tools in the hands of a loving God who is shaping us for His glory. Each struggle, each hardship is an opportunity for us to grow in faith, to learn to rely on Him more fully. As we trust Him through our difficulties, we find that He is faithful, that His promises are true. Our faith is strengthened, our character refined, and our hearts drawn closer to Him. The challenges we endure become stepping stones in our journey, leading us into a deeper relationship with God, a place of greater trust and intimacy. In His presence we find peace, a peace that is not fleeting but enduring. This peace does not come from the absence of conflict or difficulty, but from the assurance that God is with us, that He holds us in His hands. His peace guards our hearts and minds, protecting us from fear and anxiety. When we feel overwhelmed, we can turn to Him, allowing His peace to calm our restless souls. His peace is a gift, a reminder that no matter what we face, He is in control, and we are never alone. God's faithfulness is unwavering. Through every season, he remains the same, a constant source of strength and support. He does not abandon us in our struggles. Instead, he stands with us, offering his guidance and wisdom. His promises are sure, and his love is steadfast. When we place our trust in him, we can face the future with confidence, knowing that he is faithful to fulfill his word. Our hope is anchored in his faithfulness, a hope that does not disappoint, because it is rooted in the character of a God who is unchanging and true. In our weakness, God's strength is revealed. He does not require us to be perfect. He invites us to come as we are, with all our flaws and failures. It is in our brokenness that his power shines most brightly. He takes our weaknesses and uses them for his glory, showing the world that his grace is sufficient. Our imperfections do not disqualify us from his love. They draw us closer to him, allowing us to experience his grace in a way that is transformative. Through his strength, we are able to accomplish what we could never achieve on our own, bringing honor to his name. Our journey with God is one of continual growth and transformation. He does not leave us where we are. He leads us forward, guiding us into a deeper understanding of his love and grace. Each step of the way, he is teaching us, molding us, and refining us. He is patient with us, understanding our struggles and encouraging us to keep going. In his presence, we are changed, becoming more like him, reflecting his love to the world. This journey is a lifelong process, one that we embrace with humility and gratitude, knowing that we are being shaped by the hands of a loving Father. God's plans for us are greater than we can imagine. He sees the full picture, knowing the end from the beginning. His purposes for us are good, filled with hope and promise. Even when we cannot see the way forward, we can trust that he is guiding us, leading us into the future he has prepared. His plans are not always what we expect, but they are always for our good. As we surrender to his will, we discover a life that is rich in purpose and meaning, a life that brings glory to his name. Through every trial and triumph, God is writing our story. Each chapter, each moment is part of his divine plan. Our lives are a reflection of his grace, a testament to his love. As we walk with him, we find that our story is not just about us, it is about him, about his faithfulness, his mercy, and his love. We are part of something greater, a tapestry of grace that spans generations. Our story is one of redemption, a story that proclaims the goodness of God to a world in need of hope. And in all things, God is glorified. God's presence in our lives is constant, but the awareness of it often fluctuates. There are days when his nearness is unmistakable, filling us with peace and purpose. Yet in other seasons, it feels as if he is distant, as if our prayers are met with silence. This silence can be unsettling, challenging our faith and making us question his love. But in these moments, God is inviting us to trust him even more, to believe that he is working even when we cannot perceive his hand. His silence does not mean his absence. Instead, it is an invitation to a deeper relationship, one that is not dependent on our feelings but rooted in the truth of his word. When we come to God with our brokenness, he does not turn us away. Instead, he embraces us, drawing us close and reminding us that his grace is sufficient for every need. Our weaknesses do not disqualify us from his love. They are the very things that draw us into his arms. God is not looking for perfection. He is looking for hearts that are surrendered, willing to let him work through them. He takes our broken pieces and with his loving hands creates something beautiful. Our scars become testimonies of his healing, reminders of the ways he has redeemed our past and given us hope for the future. The journey of faith is not without challenges. There will be moments of doubt, times when we question God's plan for our lives. But in these moments, he invites us to bring our questions to him, to lay our doubts at his feet. He is not threatened by our questions. Instead, he welcomes them, using them as opportunities to reveal more of his character to us. When we bring our doubts to God, we find that he is patient, kind, and faithful. He meets us where we are, guiding us gently into a place of trust and confidence. Our doubts do not push him away, they draw us closer to him, leading us into a deeper understanding of his love. God's timing is perfect, though it often does not align with our own. We may feel ready for a breakthrough, eager for the next step, but God in His wisdom may ask us to wait. This waiting is not a punishment, it is a season of preparation. During this time, He is shaping us, refining our character, and strengthening our faith. Waiting teaches us patience, a virtue that is often overlooked but is essential to our growth. As we wait, we learn to trust God's timing, to believe that He knows what is best for us. And when the time is right, He will open the doors, leading us into the fullness of His plan for our lives. In our pursuit of God, we discover that true joy is found not in the things of this world, but in His presence. The world offers temporary pleasures, fleeting moments of happiness, but God offers a joy that is eternal. This joy is not dependent on our circumstances. It is rooted in the knowledge that we are His, that we are loved and cherished by Him. Even in the midst of trials, we can experience this joy, knowing that our lives are in His hands. His joy gives us strength, enabling us to face each day with hope and confidence, trusting that He is with us. As we walk with God, we begin to see the world through His eyes. Our perspective shifts, and we start to understand the depth of His love for humanity. We see people not as obstacles or inconveniences, but as souls in need of His grace. This love compels us to reach out, to share His message of hope with those around us. We become vessels of His love, instruments of His peace. Our lives are no longer just about us, they are about Him, about bringing glory to His name and advancing His kingdom. This calling is both a privilege and a responsibility, one that we embrace with gratitude and humility. God's love is a healing force, one that reaches into the deepest parts of our souls and brings restoration. There are wounds we carry, scars from past hurts, but in His presence we find healing. His love soothes our pain, filling us with a peace that transcends understanding. He does not promise to remove all our struggles, but He does promise to be with us in them, to carry us through. Our healing may not come in an instant. It may be a journey, a process that requires time and patience. But as we lean into His love, we find that He is faithful, that He is able to heal even the most broken parts of our hearts. Our faith is not just a private matter, it is a light that shines in the darkness. In a world filled with fear and uncertainty, we are called to be beacons of hope, pointing others to the one who is steadfast and true. Our lives should reflect His love, His grace, His mercy. This does not mean we are perfect, but it does mean we are surrendered, willing to let God work through us. As we live out our faith, we become a testimony to His goodness, a living example of His love. We are ambassadors of His kingdom, carrying His message of hope to a world in desperate need of it. God's strength is made perfect in our weakness. When we come to the end of ourselves, when we have exhausted all our resources, we find that He is there, ready to carry us. Our limitations do not hinder Him. In fact, they highlight His power. He takes our weaknesses and turns them into strengths, using them for His glory. Our struggles become opportunities for His grace to shine, for His power to be displayed. In our weakness, we find that He is strong, that His grace is sufficient for every need. We do not have to rely on our own abilities. We can rest in His strength, knowing that He is more than enough. The trials we face are not without purpose. God uses them to refine us, to shape us into the people He created us to be. Each struggle, each hardship is an opportunity for growth, a chance to develop resilience and perseverance. As we endure, we find that our faith is strengthened, our character refined. The challenges we face are not obstacles, they are stepping stones, leading us into a deeper relationship with God. He does not waste our pain, He uses it, transforming it into something beautiful. Our trials become testimonies of His faithfulness, reminders of His love and grace. In His presence we find rest. The world is filled with noise, with demands and expectations that can leave us feeling overwhelmed. But in God's presence there is peace, a peace that calms our restless souls and gives us the strength to carry on. This rest is not just physical, it is a deep soul-level peace that comes from knowing we are loved, that we are cared for by the Creator of the universe. We do not have to strive or struggle, we can simply rest in His love, trusting that He is in control. His peace guards our hearts and minds, protecting us from fear and anxiety. God's love for us is unwavering, It does not change with the seasons or fade with time. His love is constant, a steady presence in our lives. Even when we feel unworthy or undeserving, His love remains. He does not love us because of what we do. He loves us because of who we are. We are His children, cherished and valued beyond measure. This love gives us a sense of worth, a confidence that cannot be shaken. We are loved, not because of our achievements or accomplishments, but because we are His. This is a love that frees us, that gives us the courage to live authentically, knowing that we are accepted just as we are. The journey of faith is one of continual growth and transformation. God does not leave us where we are. He leads us forward, guiding us into a deeper understanding of His love and grace. Each step of the way, He is teaching us, molding us, and refining us. He is patient with us, understanding our struggles and encouraging us to keep going. In His presence, we are changed, becoming more like Him, reflecting His love to the world. This journey is a lifelong process, one that we embrace with humility and gratitude, knowing that we are being shaped by the hands of a loving Father. As we grow in our relationship with God, we begin to see the world through His eyes. Our hearts are softened, and we are filled with compassion for those around us. We see the brokenness, the pain, and the suffering, and we are moved to action. God's love compels us to reach out, to offer hope and healing to a hurting world. Our lives are no longer just about us, they are about Him, about bringing glory to His name and advancing His kingdom. This calling is both a privilege and a responsibility, one that we embrace with gratitude, knowing that we are part of something greater than ourselves. Through every trial and triumph, God is writing our story. Each chapter, each moment is part of His divine plan. Our lives are a reflection of His grace, a testament to His love. As we walk with Him, we find that our story is not just about us, it is about Him, about His faithfulness, His mercy, and His love. We are part of something greater, a tapestry of grace that spans generations. Our story is one of redemption, a story that proclaims the goodness of God to a world in need of hope. God's hand is constantly working in ways beyond what we can see or understand. His plans reach far beyond our limited perspective, weaving together circumstances, people, and events in ways that only He, in His wisdom, can orchestrate. When we are in the midst of trials, it can be difficult to see how God is moving. Our vision may be clouded by the weight of our struggles, and our hearts may feel heavy with the burden of unanswered prayers. But God is at work even in the silence, arranging each detail with purpose. He is creating a path for us, one that leads to growth, transformation, and deeper intimacy with Him. Though we may not yet understand His plan, we are called to trust in the God who sees the beginning from the end, who knows each chapter of our story before it unfolds. God's promises are like anchors, steady and unshakable. In times of uncertainty, they provide us with a firm foundation, a source of strength that keeps us rooted. When God says He will never leave us nor forsake us, we can hold on to that promise with confidence, knowing that His words are true and eternal. His promises are not mere words, they are declarations backed by His infinite power and faithfulness. They remind us that we are never alone, that God's presence surrounds us like a protective shield. Even when life's storms rage, His promises stand, unchanging, a beacon of hope that guides us through the darkness. In every season, whether in joy or sorrow, His promises remain steadfast, a constant reminder of His unchanging love for us. As we lean into God's promises, we learn to see beyond our circumstances. Our faith is stretched, and our perspective is transformed. We begin to realize that our trials, though painful, are part of a greater purpose. They are refining us, purifying our hearts, and drawing us closer to the one who holds our lives in His hands. God uses our struggles to shape us, molding us into vessels of His love and grace. Each difficulty becomes an opportunity for growth, a chance to deepen our trust in Him. And as we walk through these seasons, we discover a strength we never knew we had, a strength that comes not from ourselves, but from the God who empowers us. God's love is a shelter, a safe place where we can find refuge from the storms of life. When we are weary and burdened, He invites us to come to Him, to lay down our worries and rest in His presence. In His arms we find peace that calms our anxious hearts, a peace that reassures us that He is in control. His love surrounds us, protecting us from fear and filling us with courage to face each day. This love is unconditional, unwavering, and eternal. It does not depend on our performance or our circumstances. It is a gift freely given, a love that knows no bounds. In His love we find our identity, our worth, and our purpose. We are His beloved, cherished, and treasured by the one who created us. As we grow in our relationship with God, we begin to see ourselves through His eyes. We realize that we are not defined by our past, by our failures, or our mistakes. We are defined by His love, by the identity He has given us as His children. This identity frees us from the chains of shame and guilt, allowing us to walk in the fullness of His grace. We are no longer bound by the opinions of others or by the lies of the enemy. We are secure in the knowledge that we are loved, that we are chosen, and that we have a purpose. God's love transforms us from the inside out, renewing our minds and reshaping our hearts to reflect His character. God's wisdom is beyond our comprehension, yet He shares it with us, guiding us on the path He has prepared. His word is a lamp to our feet and a light to our path, illuminating the way forward even when the road seems dark. Through His word, He speaks to us, offering wisdom and insight that surpasses human understanding. As we meditate on His truths, we gain a clarity that helps us navigate life's challenges with confidence and grace. His wisdom guards us, protecting us from making decisions that would lead us astray. In His wisdom, we find direction, purpose, and peace, knowing that He is leading us toward His best for our lives. There is a profound beauty in surrendering to God's will. It requires humility, a willingness to set aside our own plans and desires in favor of His. But in this surrender, we find freedom. We are no longer burdened by the need to control every outcome, to have everything figured out. Instead, we can rest in the assurance that God is in control, that His plans for us are good, and that He is working all things together for our good. Surrendering to God does not mean giving up. It means placing our trust in the one who is infinitely wise and loving. It is an act of faith, a declaration that we believe God knows what is best for us, even when we do not understand His ways. Through every season of life, God is teaching us, shaping us, and drawing us closer to Him. He uses our experiences, both good and bad, to refine us and to deepen our faith. Our journey is a process of becoming, of growing into the people He created us to be. Each step, each challenge is part of this journey, a journey that leads us closer to Him. Along the way, we discover the beauty of His presence, the power of His grace, and the depth of His love. We realize that we are never alone, that He is with us, guiding us and sustaining us. Our journey may not always be easy, but it is filled with purpose and meaning, for we are walking with the Creator of the universe. God's grace is sufficient for every need, every trial, and every challenge we face. This grace is not something we earn. It is a gift freely given to us by a loving Father. It is a grace that empowers us, that strengthens us in our weakness, and that fills us with hope even in the darkest moments. When we fall short, His grace lifts us up, reminding us that we are not defined by our failures. His grace covers us, assuring us that we are forgiven, that we are loved, and that we are accepted. This grace is a constant presence in our lives, a reminder of God's unending love for us. As we rest in God's grace, we are filled with gratitude. Our hearts overflow with thanksgiving, for we know that every blessing, every moment of joy, and every experience of His love is a gift from Him. Gratitude shifts our perspective, allowing us to see the beauty in every moment, to recognize the goodness of God in every season. It reminds us that we are blessed, that we are loved, and that we are held in the hands of a faithful God. This gratitude becomes a foundation of our faith, a source of strength that carries us through life's challenges. Our journey is one of love, grace, and faith. It is a journey of discovering who God is and who we are in Him. Each step, each moment is an opportunity to grow closer to Him, to experience His love, and to reflect His character to the world around us. Our lives are a testament to His goodness, a reflection of His grace, and a beacon of His hope. We are His children, beloved and cherished, and we are called to live in the fullness of His love, to embrace the purpose He has for us, and to walk in the path He has prepared. This journey is not one we undertake alone. It is a journey we walk hand in hand with the Creator, sustained by His grace, guided by His wisdom, and filled with His love. And in every step we are reminded that God sees us, He hears us, and He knows us. We are His, and in Him we find our true home. In conclusion, we are reminded of the profound truth that God sees our pain, hears our cries, and knows the weariness that weighs heavily upon us. His heart is ever inclined toward us, filled with compassion and love that surpasses our understanding. In our moments of struggle, we can find solace in the promise that we are not alone. He is our refuge and strength, a very present help in times of trouble. As we navigate the challenges of life, may we lean into His grace, embrace His wisdom, and trust in His unfailing love. Let us remember that every trial is an opportunity for growth, every tear a testament to His faithfulness. Our stories are not defined by our hardships, but by the unwavering presence of God who walks with us through every season. He transforms our pain into purpose, our trials into triumphs, and our struggles into strength. As we continue on this journey of faith, let us keep our eyes fixed on Him, knowing that He has a good plan for our lives. May we be filled with hope and courage, assured that He is working all things together for our good and His glory. In our weariness, let us find rest in Him, and in our brokenness, let us experience His healing touch. God is not just aware of our struggles, He is actively involved in our lives, orchestrating every detail for our benefit. So as we leave this time together, let us carry with us the truth that we are deeply loved, seen and known by our Creator. May we walk forward with confidence, trusting that in every circumstance God is with us and His grace is sufficient. Amen.